Hello folks, welcome to the video. Today we have a ride in Mashpee, and we're just gonna cruise around, find some new places to ride, link up some sections here and there. And today we're taking the bike that I described in the previous video, the budget bike build. So the ride got off to a somewhat rough start here with a bit of traffic here on this small road. So some foul language from your host here, but anyway, going 3 wide on a small road like that is just really not good driving behavior. There's houses on that road. That just shouldn't be. So crossing 28 here, again always eventful, but I got pretty lucky. Didn't have to wait too long because it was kind of in the middle of the day. And so we're going into an area I haven't ridden before, but should get me up to Mashpee town. So basically trying to work my way to Noisy Hole Conservation Area, and then that will take me up to Route 130, which is kind of Mashpee Center. There's a lot of different trails I took in here, not really documenting it really well, but if you have an app, you can kind of work your way through here, and a lot of it looks the same, so I don't show a whole lot of the footage from it. After consulting my phone a number of times to figure out where I was, I eventually make it up to Route 130 and then head over to Katuitt Road and make a crossing. There's bike paths along both of these roads, and so I stick to the bike paths just to make it a little bit safer. They're pretty busy roads. Eventually work through a neighborhood and then take South Sandwich Road, a little short jog, and that brings me into the Lowell Holly Reservation. These trails are really more hiking trails, at least in this initial part, and so I decided to work my way over to a road that kind of runs parallel to the trail. They're not really parallel, but they end up in about the same place. So the road ends in a parking area, and this takes you to Wakeby Pond, which there's Mashpee, Wakeby Pond, which are essentially the same pond, which are there's a point of land, which is actually, if you walk out to the end of this point in the distance, that's essentially what kind of separates the two ponds, but essentially the same pond. When I first came up, I noticed there were some osprey that were dive bombing into the pond to catch fish. But once I got set up with my phone to video it, they stopped diving into the pond. After a stop at the pond, I take this trail to try to work my way over to Ryder Conservation land that's kind of adjacent to Lowell Holly.
This one's got a lot of roots. Wow.
This trail takes me back down to the pond, and then I have to work my way along the pond to get into a little beach area. I think they are trying to keep the beach area separate from these conservation areas, maybe because people have dogs and want to keep the dogs off the sand, because kids are going to be playing at the beach.
Why are they trying to keep this?
So once I get to the beach, I have to walk the bike across this. It just is a little bit too loose and thick of sand. I can't really make it through. But after, on the other side, I'm able to find a trail and continue into that Ryder Conservation area. So here, had a little accident.
Oh, wow.
And essentially going down not really even a steep hill, but just made a grab for the brake levers and came up empty, and I essentially had to smack into that downed tree. Again, I've mentioned that in the previous video that I'm not extremely happy with the brake lever location when I'm in the hood position.
Pretty cool in here.
So the trails in this conservation area are pretty challenging. There's a lot of vertical up and down, and a lot of roots. But eventually, working down closer to the lake, you get into these kind of boggy, old bog areas that are a lot smoother, flatter surfaces.
Wow,
And this little area here is a little grove of hollies that was pretty neat. This is getting into the area where the bogs are. You can see the ditch over here on the left side of where I'm riding. If you travel on Cotuit Road, you can actually see a bog that's active that's not really too far away from this area. And I don't know why this particular bog wasn't utilized anymore and was ceded over conservation land. I missed videotaping some of the riding out of that conservation area, but now I'm back on Cotuit Road, and I'm going to take this little jog on this road that will take me over to Wakeby Road. in this case, I missed the turn off of this road that was where I'm supposed to go. But I ended up finding these abandoned trailers down here. This is at the north end of Santuit Pond, and I don't really know who owns this land or on this road. I didn't see any posted signs or anything like that. But eventually it comes to a point at the end of it where you can't really travel any further. There was a little trail, kind of like the hint of a trail that continued off to the east, but I don't think that it went anywhere, and so I ended up turning around. So this is the turn that I missed, and it takes you up to what's called Toby Lot, and it's just an area that's kind of between Catuit Road and Wakeby Road. And once you get up this hill here, it becomes pretty flat and easy to ride on. So this is where you intersect with Wakeby Road. So I head east on Wakeby Road, and then I get off on this small road. It's essentially the end of Hollow Road that ends up going to Santuit Newtown Road. Hollow Road goes through a wooded area between two neighborhoods, and I think you can go all the way through, but I haven't confirmed that yet. But I take a detour off of Hollow Road on this trail that takes you closer to Santuit Pond, and it turns out to be pretty rustic. This is a pretty steep hill right off the bat that I climb up.
Woo! Nice.
Eventually the trail becomes pretty grown in, and obviously is not seeing a lot of use, and so I don't know how easy it would be to actually take this trail in the summertime when everything starts growing up. There's a couple places where it looks like there's poison ivy growing, so that'd be another concern. Eventually you come down to this area that's near the bogs, and I think I put this in a previous video. This is a bog that appears to be some kind of environmental cleanup going on here. I really don't know. and just circle around it. It takes you next to Santuit Pond. After exiting the bog area, you get to Hollow Road, and I take Hollow Road down to the entrance for Santuit Pond Preserve. This is an old bog area that I think I've shown in other videos, and I'm going to work my way down to the southern end of Santuit Pond. I end up getting behind a runner up here that's going at a pretty good clip. I decided since he's going at a pretty good pace, I'd just wait for a few seconds, take a little break, and then continue on so I don't have to try passing him. Once I'm close to the south end of the pond, I'm going to take a trail that will go down to the east side of Santuit River and take me back out to 28. This section has quite a few down trees, and so I have to go over some of the down logs. From here, the trail takes a pretty good descent down to the Santuit River itself. eventually I find a trail that goes up to this neighborhood. It's fairly steep,
Missed it.
so I don't quite make it without having to put a foot down. And suddenly I'm in suburbia. So another crossing of 28, and I've got a pedestrian way, but it takes a while for people to
Pedestrian.
decide they'd like to stop.
Maybe walk there.
Of course, you gotta look the other way. I just take the sidewalk a short distance on 28 to Main Street, and that'll take me back to the start of the ride. I could feel the pressure of cars behind me, so I pull over, and then I just take this little jog on this street that takes you over to Santuit Newtown Road, which is a little quieter than Main Street. Well, this is the end of today's ride, so thank you for joining me, and if you have a comment, please leave it. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.